Kamen Rider Gavv is the single most ridiculous thing I've ever watched in my life. And when I tell you I cannot wait to see more episodes, it is an understatement. I'm growing a bigger fan of Tokusatsu day by day, and going into Kamen Rider Gavv, I didn't really know what to expect. I've not really seen anything of Kamen Rider before, and I've also been told by people and seen in trailers that Kamen Rider Gavv looks a lot different. And not so much in the sense that it's unrecognizable as Kamen Rider, but there are a few motifs that are different, and basically, it's going to be a different kind of show. As of episode 1, we meet Shoma Stomach, who is the main protagonist of this show, and the way we meet him is ridiculous. He's going through this like super ultra 3D CGI like maze, being chased by somebody, and then falls out of an aeroplane and hits into the beach of clearly some city in Japan, and he's met by a young child who takes him back to his kind of house, shed, garage, wherever he is den, I suppose, and feeds him sweets. And that is like the solid introduction to our protagonist. When he eats these sweets or these snacks, they come straight out of his stomach and create things called gotchios, I believe they're called, and basically they're just little sweet packets that are alive. And he's got a weird zip across his hoodie, and when he unzips that, we see what I suppose typically is the Kamen Rider belt, the changer, the morpher, if you will, but in this case it's not really that. It is, for all intents and purposes, but it's also like genetically a part of him. It's an organ. Like it's not something he puts on as a belt, that is part of him, and it's because he's from a species of people called granutes, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And they're people that have big mouths on their stomachs, but the rest of that race has just actual mouths on their stomachs, whereas he doesn't, but does have this weird mechanical mouth. I should also mention, I don't actually know if in the episode at this point it's like confirmed that he's part of this species, but like he very clearly is. His name is Shoma Stomach, do you know what I mean? Now we see that this race of stomach people are really bad. They want humans. They're not good people, but Shoma is different. Shoma's not the same, and we don't exactly know why yet, but I have a couple of theories that I'll get to. We see one of these said stomach people look sick in general, like incredible costume design. He's about to attack a child, and that is when Shoma steps in, along with earlier on in the episode, where he runs in front of a truck that's about to smash into the child and just stops it with his bare body. And obviously this is all attributed to him being an alien. But when the time comes when he needs to, you know, take it up a notch, he gets one of these packets of sweet, these gotchios, and he puts it in the mouth on his stomach, closes the hatch and starts cranking the lever on the side. This is a little bubblegum packet as well. So bubblegum pieces and like sort of like, I don't know, wine gums start flying everywhere, little gummies, and then they form over him, and he becomes Kamen Rider Gavv. Now, this transformation is definitely part of this is the silliest thing I've ever seen, but there was something about it that was just so, like, the entire thing is very self-aware. And yes, this is directed towards Japanese children, I understand that, but I think even with stuff I've seen from Super Sentai and other tokusatsus, this is very self-aware already, I can see. And also, the Gavv, just this suit, to me, looks gorgeous. The black base with the blue and purple is gorgeous. I absolutely love it. And then we have the actual fight, and not only was the fight nuts, like in general, like tokusatsu is a genre of film and television that is known for its big explosions and its fighting and stuff like that. There's certain things that Super Sentai started doing that obviously ended up translating over into Power Rangers as well, where you'd replace the toku-ness with visual effects. So it's like, instead of an explosion being real or like somebody jumping being real, that became a visual effects shot. Whereas this, I feel, has blended the two perfectly, and they really work together. It's incredible choreography partnered with visual effects that just, like, this entire fight scene is so explosive and so fun to watch. You know, I'm currently watching through Boonboomger, and I love that show, and this one fight scene topped most of the stuff I've seen in that show already. And then of course he defeats the stomach monster and he goes off on his own path. He literally spawns in a quad bike, or motorbike rather, and set sail, leaving the kid behind. But that of course leads us into episode 2, which I've literally just come from watching. So I'm picking up the vibe that every time Shoma uses more of like the sweet packets, he burns more of them. Like they are things that he has eaten which is how he creates the packets. But I feel like every time he uses them, he's like burning the energy. So when he arrives in this new place, he ends up in a bush. He's very hungry. And there's this girl called Sachika who basically takes him in and takes him to where she works / lives. She owns her own business and she loves to help people. And she brings Shoma to where she lives and basically gives him a bunch of snacks. And she does make a comment about the fact that he's starving, yet went for the gummies first. And gummies are clearly the first bit of human food he ate in episode 1, which leads on to the fact that he talks about his mother. And he says he really wanted to try these snacks, potato chips as well, or crisps he tries, because his mother used to tell him stories about crisps and sweets and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, was his mother once human? Because he's clearly like, he doesn't have the regular mouth. He has the mechanical, like, changer mouth. Is he like part human, part granite? Or I'm thinking maybe his mother's human and his father is a granite, and maybe one of the villains that we start seeing, because we get a glimpse into these villains. All the villains in this look really cool, and they all have human forms apparently, and there's like prohibited land where they don't want to be looking like the Graniutes and the Summit Monsters, therefore they turn into humans. I love these Cruella de Vil looking twins, they're quite sick. But I wondered if one of those big bads is actually the father. Maybe we're having a Star Wars moment, a Luke, I am your father moment, Shoma, I am your father. Maybe it's Dave Grohl. No, too soon. But yeah, his mother in the past told him about human snacks, aka crisps, and this intrigued me into figuring out even further what's going on. So he's obviously had quite a lot of crisps, and now he's generating the gotchios that are the crisp packets, the potato chip ones. Apologies, I keep calling them crisps because I'm from the UK and I'm very aware most of my audience is from the US. I mean potato chips if I keep saying it. As the episode goes on, Shoma helps two people move into a new apartment, and while all that's going on, a new monster has been sent down from this like whatever realm that the bad guys are in is so cool. It's clearly like King Oja style, everything on a green screen. But they're interacting with like real props and they're obviously real people. But then the world is like drawn. Like, I'm not even like CG, but physically the art style is as if it's a drawing. But yes, this stomach monster is kidnapping a human. They actually kidnap one of the girls that he helped move. And of course, he will not let them get away with this. So he pops a little bubblegum packet into his mouth, into his stomach mouth, and becomes Kamen Rider Gavv. He's too strong for him. He's running him in circles, so at some point during the fight, he gets a potato chip gotchizo. I'm bad with these pronunciations. He puts it in, and all the bubblegum part of the suit comes off him, and on goes potato chips. And he is now a potato chip Kamen Rider, which, again, stupidest thing ever. Made for kids, I get it. But I was just smiling the entire time. I was just like, what is this? What is going on? And he becomes the crisp rider, as far as I'm concerned. And it looked quite cool. He has these dual blades that basically every time he like smacks them in the wrong direction, they crumble, but then regenerate instantly. And when he actually uses them as a sword, they slice through like pretty much anything. And I thought that was a really cool motif. And eventually he defeats the bad guy and turns back into his bubblegum Gavv. And he releases the girl, because basically tongues come out of these giant monsters, wrap them up, captures them in like little glass shards. She's freed and takes one look at Gavv and is just scared, terrified. And you can see that he kind of gets it. He's like, yeah, I do look like a monster. He's like, look, just be aware of monsters now, just please. And then spawns his quad bike and off he goes. And then at the end of the episode, Sachika gets a note off him saying that he appreciates her help and now he's off. And that's kind of what he did to the kid at the start. So I hope both of them are coming back because they were great characters, especially Sachika. I also thought there was a bit of love interest going on, but maybe not. We'll see what happens. She was in the intro, which can I just say, not only did the intro pop off, but that theme song was next level. I was vibing in my seat. Speaking of the intro, there was somebody else in that intro who was in episode 1 and in this episode, and that is the journalist. Now, I forget his name, but I'll put it up on screen. And he's on episode 1, and we don't really see what's going on. His dad, or whoever he's with in this scene, basically is a journalist, and you know, he's a scooper. And I think this guy's like a scooper in training or something, and he's trying to finally like meet Kamen Rider Gavv and clearly get some questions or photos or something, I'm not sure. While he sat waiting to see him, he looks over at like this little area of where he sat, and he gets a flashback to him playing with his mother, and his mother gets taken or eaten or something along those lines by one of the stomach monsters. So he's clearly got some sort of deeper backstory into this. As with the fact he's trying to get a hold of Kamen Rider, this episode gave us quite a bit, you know, and I'm excited to see where this goes to. As somebody who's never really watched Kamen Rider before, I didn't even watch Masked Rider, which was obviously the Power Ranger spin-off. It's definitely different to Super Sentai. I had people tell me people have told me that it's Super Sentai, but with one person instead of a team. And I disagree. It is Tokusatsu. It is undoubtedly Tokusatsu, and it's clearly Toei as well. But I think there's something so like unique about this season specifically. I won't talk on behalf of all of them, but this season, in these first 2 episodes, that it doesn't feel like I'm watching Super Sentai with one character. There's genuinely feels like there's something different about it. I can't quite place my finger on it yet. Maybe there's just certain uniqueness to it, I don't really know, but I am going to continue watching episodes, continue making videos about it, and hopefully after a few episodes I can kind of find my footing with the show and, you know, kind of pick out the points that I really like. Thank you so much for watching. What are your thoughts on Kamen Rider Gavv? I will be posting videos, probably not the most frequently on it, maybe every 2, 3, 4 episodes, just as like big roundups talking about what I feel and what I think about these episodes. But I do post at least 2 videos a week and a short every day. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, consider subscribing. You will hear from me again. Thank you. I'm having a gummy. Hey!